There she is. How are you, Michelle?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
All the better to see you. How's your day so far?
It's all right. It's been a rush. It's been a busy morning, but it's been a good morning. It's all good.
Good. Well, your morning actually started with me.
It did. Exactly. It was a very early start for both of us, but you have your fitness glow on, as you say. Definitely.
Can you tell?
Yeah, for sure.
No,
for sure. Right.
If I may say so myself, yeah, I've got my Michelle Coates glow.
I like that. Yeah, exactly. You certainly do.
Yeah, thank you for that. And what number was I in your sequence, Michelle?
You were my second session. Yeah, and I've already done 4 or 5 sessions already this morning. So yeah, crammed it in.
Absolutely. But wow, it's 11:30 in the morning and you've done 5.
Exactly. Yeah, a few more this afternoon as well. So it's a busy day.
Nice. Well, we have a saying, right? You snooze, you lose.
Exactly. Yeah, it's too true. It's too true.
Oh, well, Michelle, look, I just want to say a big thank you for joining me again today, but this time in a slightly separate way. As you know, what I love doing in my practice is all about patient education. I'm a doctor. I now run a medical aesthetic clinic following my world in plastic and reconstructive, but everything that I do now is just so fascinating, so interesting. Key thing is actually I meet so many amazing, interesting people as well. What that enables me to do is learn myself. And we're never just treating one thing, whether it's the scalp or a line or a wrinkle, it's the full 360. And with that in mind, I always believe in connecting our patients to the people and the brands that I work with the science, the innovation, all of that. More so now than ever, health and wellness and fitness, making healthier choices plays an even bigger part, more than ever. As we strive through a global pandemic, we want to come out the other side. We want to just feel better about ourselves. And I thought this is the best time to bring you into the conversation as we start 2021. I'd love for you to educate our patients on all of the things that you're currently educating me to make me stronger, healthier, fitter, just more re-energized so I can perform better for 2021 as I embark on my year with you, because I'm signed up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I love it. I love that you are. Absolutely. Yeah. If I can help in any way, I'm more than happy to share some of my knowledge. Absolutely.
Thank you, Michelle, because you're an expert in your field and in health, wellness, personal training. That's exactly what I'm doing with you. But what also drew me to you was that you could really listen to me and get a full 360 safely to reawaken me effectively. And then I know you're going to kill me as the year goes on, and I'm happy with that. But enough about me. I'd love for you to share with our audience a bit about you, what you do, Michelle, your background, your expertise, and how did you begin?
Sure. I mean, I think my journey to becoming where I am now was not really a conventional one, if you like. Personal training wasn't something that I knew I wanted to do at all. I kind of found the profession probably by luck more than anything. So probably it all started back in my teenage years when I was a really kind of dedicated hockey player. I played nationally. I played for National League for many years. And when I was at university, a few people approached me to ask if I could help kind of improve their fitness levels and train them for an upcoming national trial that they were going for. I was doing a degree in exercise science at the time, so I thought, that's fine. It's a good way for me to, try out some of these methods and have them as case studies. So obviously, I trained these 2 girls. It went very well. They got great results. And I started to think, oh, okay, this is actually something that possibly, that I could go into because I love it. It's more like a hobby to me than a profession. Yes. So I thought, okay, I'll kind of, keep that in the back of my mind. But hockey was what I wanted to do. I was so committed to it. And that's what I wanted to do long term. Yes. But when I started getting into my early 20s, the dawning came upon me that, okay, this isn't going to be a career choice for me. I need to find something else that has a bit more sustainability. So I turned back to what I enjoyed doing, which was working with people to try and make them healthier and fitter. So after completing my degree, I thought, right, how can I make myself more unique to the public or to exercise professionals or to athletes? And I wanted to really kind of up my knowledge from my degree to more of an exercise environment, the scientific training methodology, strategies and techniques that you ultimately get optimal performance out of. Yes. Which is when I discovered the CHEK Institute, which is CHEK, which stands for Corrective Holistic exercise kinesiology. So it's a very, very, in a nutshell, it's a very, very unique approach to training, a very scientific-led approach to training, taking into everything about our body, similar to how you approach your clientele with the skin. You know, our body is a system of systems, and everything interlinks, and it has an effect on every other system in our body. And that's what the CHEK approach taught me. And it, you know, gave me a great foundation and a really high level of knowledge that kind of, I think, sets me apart from what you'd necessarily find, you know, a generic fitness instructor that you might find in a health club or a gym. You know, the knowledge that I learned from the CHEK Institute was kind of that upper echelon of knowledge. And I think that kind of, you know, distinguishes me from other trainers. And that's what I threw myself into. And I started, you know, chucking some equipment in my car when I was in my 20s and driving around people's houses, word of mouth, as these things do. It grew in my home county here in Bucks. And then I grew my business. And then that's when it went from strength to strength. And I ended up with my own studio and a team working with me in the studio, which was fantastic. And then I decided that with fitness trends changing, the global pandemic that's come upon us in the last year, it was time for me to pivot again with my business. And I've now branched into where I'm at now, which is the online-based training. I have my own fitness-based app called Anytime Personal Trainer, and I'm connecting with a whole new audience, which is really exciting for me. So that's where I am now.
What a story, Michelle. Goodness me. You know, I thought I knew you, but there's so much about your background that now it just makes so much sense. And I know that's why I have chosen you, you know, your knowledge, your expertise. You've done degrees in this subject. You know, thank you for sharing with me about the CHEK Institute, because I had no idea that you'd done all of that. And that just makes total sense why you have a completely well-rounded approach to even your consultation style, because you gave me a very detailed, a very thorough consultation. And I have to say, I've had the odd trainer in the past. I've had some excellent trainers, and it was just so like a blast of fresh air again, having you look at me as to where I am right now. I did actually hear about you word of mouth. I remember us meeting at a Christmas party many years ago.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm curious and interested, and I have to say, 4 years later, you do treat a lot of my patients.
Sure, we have a crossover. Yeah, we do.
In your methodology, they look fantastic. They're always on fire when they come in. They're top of their game. And
thank you. Yeah, they do all the hard work. I'll pass that on, definitely.
And I guess, you know, when I see them coming in motivated and pumped, and, you know, they've been through the Michelle course, I guess I wanted a piece of that.
Sure, that's really good to hear. That's great. No, they do. They work really hard, and they do. And even in this time, you know, when we connect on with down to Zoom calls on how we train, you know, I do look at them and I think, God, you know, they do look really well and healthy and energized. Where, you know, sometimes I speak, you know, I see people who you bump into a supermarket or something, and people look tired, yeah, very deflated, and you know, and I think exercise is just a great outlet to re-energize, get some endorphins going, and to, you know, a positive kind of outlet at this time. And I think I'm really proud of that. I look at my clients and they do all the hard work, so it's a credit to them that they're looking really healthy and well, which is fantastic.
No, good to hear. Good to hear. I would love to go back to the CHEK Institute. You mentioned corrective, holistic exercise, and you mentioned kinesiology. How does all that fit in, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'm super curious about that.
Sure. I think, you know, the CHEK is great, that it represents, you know, those elements that embody what health is. It's a holistic approach to health, which is what my approach is to health, where we're looking at corrective exercise, we're looking at assessment, we're looking at movement, kinesiology, different forms of movement, like biomechanics, how the walking gait, people walk differently, people sit differently, people have muscle imbalances. How do you treat those imbalances? How do you assess those imbalances? And I find with my clients, you know, I don't believe in a quick fix. I don't agree in an umbrella approach. Everyone is unique.
Yes.
And that's what the CHEK approach teaches me, is there's almost four steps, which is what I use with my clients, which I use with you. And that's correct assessment first, then correction, then nutrition, and then movement. And they're the 4 key steps that you need to undertake if you want to, you know, start a metabolic change, a lifestyle change, and any kind of change, whether that's weight loss, body shape change. You have to go through those 4 steps. They are key. And that's what the Institute, you know, they gave me the tools that I can do that and share them with my clientele.
Thank you. I love the way you talk about the assessment being a really key part, as opposed to,
Yeah,
okay, let's go, because you took into consideration my diet, my fitness levels at the time. You were super curious about my fitness levels from the past, which were, in my opinion, really good. And with the test of time and to doing what I do right now, completely excuse focused. It's good, but it should be great, and I want it back again. You also then mentioned balance of the muscles, and one of the things I notice more is with using this a lot more now, especially in the last 1 year. Gosh, when I do my exercises with you in the morning, I can just feel this click, 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 click up my spine. That's
sure.
thing. So this must be all this that's going on. Is that right?
Very much so. And, we have the discussion, and I think in your industry, you class it as Zoom face, where so many people are now on their screen times have gone through the roof, and they're looking at themselves going, oh my God, look at my face, and oh my God, and I've noticed this and I've noticed that. And, you become very kind of drawn to your face. But also what happens in my world, I call it PC posture, where people are so intense on looking at themselves and sitting at their screens for hours upon hours in the day, that their whole posture, these imbalances begin to creep in, where the head creeps forward, the shoulders come in, we slouch. And that's when we're probably sitting at a desk, where lots of people now aren't even sitting at desks. They're working off beds, they're working off makeshift breakfast bars or stools. They don't have a proper chair like you would have in an office. So that's definitely the thing that I've seen, or I'm trying to counteract with my clients, is to correct this PC posture. And as you say, correct imbalances that may be creeping in and bring like a musculoskeletal balance back to the body. It's key. And I think it's a worry moving forward. I think, in 2021, I think we're going to see, and maybe even into 2022, 2023, a whole generation of people that are going to be suffering, from these postural imbalances that have been, brought on, working more from home and working longer hours as well. I mean, you must have this when you discuss things with your clients. The hours are becoming greater in a day. My girlfriend's the same. She's on her PC at 7 and she won't be off it till 8 o'clock at night. And it's like, this is beyond working from home. And I say, you're now living at work. And and I think that's a phrase that people need to ask themselves: am I working from home or am I living at work? And I bet a lot of people I feel like I'm living at work right now.
I'm actually writing this down, living at work, because I did it. It's so interesting. I did an Instagram live the other night, and it was like a live immersive through the practice. And you've been to the clinic before.
Sure.
A lot of people haven't. And I said, oh, welcome to my home. Because
yeah.
a lot of time there, and I have made it very comfortable and homely, and I could probably move in. So
you could. It is very comfortable.
But that whole concept of living at work, you're right, it's very true. And I think you and I probably share a very similar patient load or clientele, because a number of our patients are front facing on the screen. They're in business, or now they're homeschooling with their kids and then running their business. So they're morning, noon, and night on this. And one of the poor habits that I have is crossing my legs. Us girls, we do that, right?
Of course.
Because we were taught to sit that way.
Exactly. And, lots of professional people do sit that way. And you bring that into, you think of how many hours you're uncrossing your legs, and if you don't mind me sharing, it was, one of the things that we saw with you was that imbalance, the tightness, down the right-hand side of the body, more so to the left, the imbalance that was there.
Yes.
And, and a lot of that presents, as you say, is locked up in the spine, the lumbar spine, and it runs all the way up the chain to the top, into the neck. And these things do, the more you ingrain these patterns, it's inevitable that they will present themselves as muscle imbalances. And that's part of, my job, is to assess these imbalances and then correct them to bring balance back into the body. And I think a lot of clients have probably the most feedback, or the best compliments I get is that, where, oh God, my neck feels better, my back feels better. You've really helped mobilize. And taking pain away from someone is fantastic, because they'll love you forever. and they'll listen to what you say. If you can cure someone's back pain or neck pain, you've got some stickability there.
Stickability. Well, we did have a really good session this morning, because we did different exercises now that we're in week 3 of this, and because of the different exercises, and you're now leveling up a bit, I could feel more popping at the base of my spine, and I feel fantastic again now. This clearly beats just having a massage and living sedentarily. Because my opinion in a muscle that is stagnant is that you're going to get accumulation of toxins, you don't get that lymphatic clearance, and it's actually the stasis of the muscle that causes the pain. The mitochondria are just not functioning. What would you say?
Correct. I would totally agree with that. And, you know, an analogy I use a lot with clients is you have to think of your body, you know, like a river. You know, when water is flowing through a river, it's clear. You know, you haven't got junk in there. It's not getting clogged up. As soon as you stop that river moving or cut off the supply, it becomes stagnant, like you say. And that's exactly like our circulation, exactly like the muscles. They're exactly the same. You know, you have to keep them moving. You have to keep them stimulated. Variety of exercise is important, not to get stuck on doing the same thing over and over again if you want to stimulate a metabolic change. So that's extremely important, and that's what I think, you know, you're seeing the benefit of now gradually, because we're resetting and we're taking you gradually through that kind of increase of intensity at the right pace for you. And I think that's where, again, the principles that I've learned is you need to qualify and quantify your clients. You know, everyone's different and they move at a different pace.
That's a lovely word, pace. Pace is really important, and you metabolic changes and pace, because similar to my rhomboids at the back, you know, which are now being reawakened again. So very similar to, we actually see a lot of PC posture, and I've been feeling it in my patients for years. Prior to the pandemic, whenever I carried out my preliminary assessment in my Visio suite, which is an imaging device, I would actually feel my patient's scalp and the scrap muscles of the neck, the sternobasal, you know, clavicle area, just because these kind of drain the lymphatics from the head and neck down towards the heart again. And in my field, it's the skin and the face of the neck that I predominantly specialize in. And I see a lot of facial redness. I see a lot of lymphatic stasis, puffiness around the eyes. More so now in January 2021 on these Zoom consults, because people have been sedentary and they're stiff and their muscles are tight. So they're not
rigid. Yeah.
They're rigid. So you feel it in the intercostals, the back. So this is what you're now calling PC posture. I love it.
Absolutely. And it's interesting you touched on there, the intercostals. This is huge. You know, the PC posture where we become flexed, you know, and the intercostals become, and the abdominals become short and tight and flexed, where, you know, our breathing muscles, you know, we can't move the diaphragm, we can't get full breaths in or full breaths out. We can't use those, you know, that diaphragmatic breathing. And in this pandemic, as we all know, you know, respiratory muscles are your friends right now. And it's important that we train the respiratory muscles. We get, you know, the lungs, our breathing mechanics need to be very, very strong to, you know, God forbid, you know, if we got this disease, and the more effort everyone can put into, you know, working on their breathing muscles, their posture, doing some regular aerobic activity every day. This is my message for, you know, 2021. This is really important, you know, that people think of this year as a year of health, you know, and look after their bodies, because we only get one.
We only get one. Health is wealth, right? So
yes, definitely.
That brings me on to the next topic, really. So we talked about a lot of the trends now happening from even just last year to this year. And one of the things that you mentioned was now becoming a lot more virtual. And, you know, when we had our consultation, I know I have seen you physical before, but we're now doing everything virtually. And I have to say, it's brilliant.
It is. I mean, thank God for technology, that from an exercise point of view, not only for me personally in my business, but, you know, hundreds of other fitness professionals can continue to connect with their individual clients. I know the health clubs and gyms are also putting on virtual classes, so people can just log in and do their usual yoga class or meditation or HIIT class. And I think the stats that came out, I think within my industry from last year, was that in the first lockdown, I think it was about 80% of everyone in the UK engaged in some form of virtual exercise in that first lockdown, which is great to hear that people, A, still can, and B, that they want to, you know, get involved in exercise. And I think the virtual way of training, I think, is going to go from strength to strength. You know, in my opinion, in the UK, we're always a little bit behind the curve of, say, US or Australia with fitness trends. And I know that the online virtual training has been going on there and booming for 2 or 3 years. And I think this pandemic has kind of speeded it up into our industry. And I see it now. It's going to be here to stay. I think it will go from strength to strength. And, you know, as I say, I've developed my own app, which is going really well. And I think that app-based training also, a more affordable way to probably connect with a personal trainer than in face-to-face, which therefore you're capturing so many more people that can't necessarily afford a one-to-one with a personal trainer, but they can still get the personal trainer's knowledge via the app, which is great.
Well, I love the way I have access to you through your app. You know, the EMSculpt personal trainer app just works so well for me because I love my one-to-ones with you. And it's great that we have a structure twice a week. You know, we're going to see a nice progression, but then anytime I want you extra, I know I've got that access, and it's so adaptable, it's so agile, and it's just easy for me. And I know on Wednesdays when I'm, you know, mainly doing Zoom consults and, you know, training with my team and doing a lot of this, and I do a lot of presentations and webinars, I know I've got a cutoff time where I can sync into my app and actually do something, even in
exactly. Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be the HIIT section, you know, the stretching, you know, everybody, you know, with the amount of time that we are sedentary at this moment in these lockdowns, we can't get out and exercise and do what we usually do. It's so important to stretch, you know, mobilizations, basic stretching on foam rollers, on the mat. You don't need any equipment, stuff you can do at your desk to break up the day, you know, even if it's standing up and walking away from your desk and doing a call with a headset on, anything, just to break that monotony of screen time and being sat in the same position. And all these tips and routines and packages are available on the app. So it's, as you say, it's so easy to use, and it just gives you that little bit of extra support when you can't see me face to face.
Yes, and it's really helping me. So thank you. I'm looking forward to what February's going to bring, and I think you've got an interesting plan for me.
Yes, I do. Absolutely, absolutely.
The next thing that you and I are going to embark on together, well, I am, is the intermittent fasting. So now that I've gotten through, you know, January, I'm feeling really, really good. Intermittent fasting is next. So can you tell us, my audience, a little bit more about that, really, and just clarify what that means, because I'm really excited to be starting fasting.
Yeah, sure. I think it's one of those terminologies that a lot of people have heard. You know, it's written about a lot in the media. A lot of celebrities have endorsed it. And it's something I'm a big fan of. I'm a big advocate of intermittent fasting. I recommend it a lot to my clients. And it's a very, I believe, simple but really powerful tool to wake up the metabolism, which is what we all want. We all want our metabolism to be alive and functioning efficiently. And this is how you can do it through nutrition, not just through exercise. So all that it means in simple terms is that it's a period of fasting, i.e. not eating, and a period of eating. So that can be done in hours or it can be done in days. So the two most popular are the 5-2, which is where you have 5 days of eating normally but healthily. Then you have 2 fasting days. Then you have the 16-8 approach, which is the one that I like the most and the one I'll recommend to yourself, which is 16 hours worth of fasting in the day and 8 hours where you can eat. So it's just putting time restraints on when you're eating your meals. And what we see, and there's loads of research out there, it's scientifically proven that when you eat in this way, you have huge reactions within the body on a hormonal level, where your insulin levels reduce, so you're able to access those stubborn fat stores more easily. You have an increase in growth hormone, which again helps with development of lean mass going onto the body, again, which is great, which is going to not only reshape your body, but increase the metabolism. And also naturally with this way of eating, you are going to create a calorie deficit, which is inevitable. As I say, unless you're eating, you know, junk food, you know, you have to eat healthily on this planet. It doesn't give you the free rein to go and eat chocolate and Coke and all the rest of it. You know, you do have to eat a healthy diet. But if you do eat a healthy diet and combine it with a good exercise program, your body's going to get fantastic results. And, you know, I use it and a lot of clients use it and the results are fantastic and relatively quick as well. I think everyone's different, but I do see relatively quick results. You're not waiting for 12 weeks before you see some change or feel it. I think it does kick off the metabolism very quickly. It's a really effective way to engage in a healthy eating plan, not a diet, because I don't see it as a diet as such. It's a healthy eating regime.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. And you actually advised that to one of my existing patients. And when she first started, I remember she was a patient, fabulous lady having EMSculpt treatments, and you saw her, you consulted her, which she loved, and she went on board intermittent fasting, and she was telling me about it. And within about a week or two after her program of 2 weeks of EMSculpt, she was absolutely buzzing. She looked incredible. and most importantly, her energy level, she said in her own words, were up. And I believe she's still keeping everything going with you, and she's had a brilliant result.
Yeah, she has. It was great. And I think you touched on it there, which I forgot to mention. It's energy. You know, you do feel more energized when you eat this way, for sure. And also carry over into your world, you know, is the cellular repair that you get, you know, it's fantastic for, you know, which is just incredible for your skin. People see a difference in their skin, which is brilliant. And also the lean mass, you know, you get a development of lean mass on your body. So if the body shape change, it's just fantastic.
So it's all about shredding as well. And I just want to ask you, because you mentioned that it's ideal for those stubborn pockets of fat. And I see a lot of patients wanting reduction or elimination of the stubborn pocket of fat, whether it's a bra roll or that little pouch above the, you know, above the belly button or below the belly button, that area for women, especially who are going through the menopausal change. So are you saying that if we adopt this kind of strategic exercise regimen with a strategic intermittent fasting, with a strategic meal plan, that we should be able to hit that well?
Absolutely. And every woman is different, obviously. And there are, you know, when there is these hormonal changes that come about, you know, people will have specific problems which may need more attention, medication, etc. But I think if you're talking as a general healthy woman and you're looking to combat these things happening, I think you're spot on. Yeah, intermittent fasting is exactly what you should be doing, because unfortunately for women, we have a different fat cell to men. We have to work a lot harder to shift body fat, as you say, in those stubborn areas on the stomach, the thighs, the hips. And, you know, our fat cell, unfortunately, has more fat storing enzymes than fat releasing.
Yes.
So we have to work harder. And the way that we can work harder is to outsmart that fat cell, which is what exactly the intermittent fasting does. It's tricking the body and kicking off all different sorts of chemical reactions and hormonal reactions within the body to shift that stubborn belly fat. And I think that's the key to it. I mean, it obviously works for guys as well. But for women, I think it's a great approach that people should want to learn more about. And that's why I want to get this information out there. You know, everyone should know about this and people should give it a try.
Well, just a few EMSculpt patients that you have consulted with me at the practice and were on your strategies, they're already getting great results, you know, just in that 2 week and then finally in that 90 days. And you know about EMSculpt, it's my high intensity focused electromagnetic device that builds muscles, burns fat, and great for areas like this, you know, that stubborn tricep area, which is fat, and they're all doing so well with that technology. I mean, do you feel, in my opinion, I would love for all of my EMSculpt patients to be on an intermittent fasting diet so that they get the best result.
Absolutely, I do, and I think you know, the EMSculpt is great. You were kind enough to let me have a try, which was incredible, I must say. And I think I told you, I was telling myself, I'm not going to like this. You know, it's another gimmick. You know, I'll give it a go. And then I was like, oh no, this is really good. And I thought you're going to take all my clients away from me. Everyone's going to be wanting to use EMSculpt, forget about me. But it's a really, it does. And I think what the EMSculpt does that surprised me is that it's, you know, the sheer volume of contractions that you're getting into a muscle in a short period of time. We can never replicate that. You know, I can never do 20,000 crunches or 20,000 tricep dips in 20 minutes. You know, it's impossible. So what the machine does is that I believe you can't do through exercise and nutrition is spot train. You know, somebody comes to me and say, I want to lose stubborn fat off my stomach or off my triceps. And it's like, I can't promise you that when we engage on this, that's exactly where we're going to spot train. It comes off in different ways of, you know, people shift fat and bodies change in different ways in different areas. And it's very difficult to spot train. Where what the EMSculpt does, it allows you to do that. You can really focus on those stubborn areas, which is brilliant. And then if you combine that with an intermittent fasting plan and a proper structured exercise plan, looking at holistically at the rest of your body, so you're not creating any imbalances, then I think it's a really good combination, And as we've seen with a few clients already, it's really worked.
They're doing so well, and I'm so pleased that you came in with an open mind and tried it. Because yes, you know, I was super curious to know what you thought about it. And you know, having treated your arms, and who are already looking like guns already, you know, they're bigger guns now. With your
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, for sure. It was, no, I loved it. It was a really good. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I have tried it. And I do recommend other people are having problems with their training in specific areas to get some more information about it from you, because it really did change, really did open my mind into, and I think the future of devices as well. I mean, I'm sure there'll be advances in this technology to come.
Yes, there already is, and I completely agree with you. It's combination, full holistic, full 360. And, I really like the fact that I'm enjoying my experience with you. And, I think it's just the nature of your past, everything that you've learned from the CHEK Institute, your degrees, your qualifications. I feel great. And you mentioned your app as well in the virtual training. And I'm excited for our patients coming in March or whenever we may reopen again, because we are going to incorporate, a lot of what you have taught me, and that we're going to be working together with our patients, with you. And I'm excited for those patients who are going to start on with you virtually.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely. Me too. No, it's exciting. And, I think, you can get some positives out of this year. And I think, I think for my profession is this online training and the virtual approach to training and being able to reach so many different people. I think that's a huge plus, because we need to, in the UK, we need to really look at the health of our nation as a whole. Yeah. And the more people that we can get eating well, exercising, and not investing a lot of money, just investing time. If anything, time is the most important thing to invest. You don't have to spend a lot of money on health, just investing your time into making some changes, some better choices that are going to have a positive impact on your health. Because the fitter the nation is, automatically we're then reducing the pressure on the NHS, which is what we need. And this disease can't attack healthy people. It doesn't survive. People with underlying issues it can attack far more quickly than it can a healthy body. So the more healthy bodies we can get, the better.
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing that note of positivity with the world. And I completely agree with you. Fill that cup and you can look after everybody else even better. But I think a lot of people out there would be super curious as to what a typical day of a personal trainer would look like. I know you've already done 5 and it's 11:30.
Yeah.
What does a typical day in the life of Michelle Coates look like?
Yeah, it is not glamorous. My days, it is not glamorous. It's hard, I love it. I'm very lucky. I love what I do, and it doesn't feel like a job to me as such. It really doesn't. I'm very lucky in that sense. But yeah, it's hard. It's early. I have an early Monday to Friday. I have 6 a.m. clients every day of the week, and my alarm goes off at 4:45, which is the middle of the night. In my road, there's no one else awake other than me and my dog, which is great. So I get Ozzy. So I get time with Ozzy. I have cuddles with Ozzy and a cup of tea, and I have to start my day that way. And then I'm straight into my first sessions at 6 a.m. and that will run probably right the way through all morning. And my first break will probably be around 12 or 1. And I'm a big believer, as I say, in intermittent fasting. So I always try and do a training session while I'm still in that fasted state, because that takes that metabolic reaction to another level if you're going to train in a fasted state. So I'll try and smash a HIIT session or a kettlebell session, something like that. And then I'll have some quick lunch and I'm back into my afternoon and into my evening clients. And in between all that juggling, trying to start this new business and responding to new inquiries, which is exciting, and obviously keeping social media and keeping that marketing presence going. So my days are pretty full on at the moment, and a lot of energy is, obviously driving with existing clients still, but obviously generating new ones at the same time. So yeah, it's pretty full on, but I do love it, and I'm excited for this year and to see where it goes.
Likewise. No, thank you for that. I've made little notes whilst you're talking about your day. What's your ideal breakfast then? When you're having your... My
ideal breakfast, so my breakfast is usually, as I say, like a brunch, definitely. So I love that time of day, I love eggs. I absolutely love eggs. I scrambled, poached, boiled eggs, however I can get them. So eggs is always on the agenda for me for breakfast, and that will either be with some more protein, like some salmon, avocado I love to go on the side. But I also I'm a big meat eater as well. So I love turkey bacon is my thing at the moment, which I'm trying to get you to try as well for the breakfast. I love turkey bacon, anything like that. So yeah, that's my brunch. It's my favorite meal of the day as well.
Okay, fantastic. And if you had to have a cheat, this is a cheat question now, what would that be? What's Michelle's favorite cheat?
My favorite cheat. I do love pizza, I must say. If I'm going to have a cheat day, like on a weekend, I always do. I always have a cheat day, and I never hide that fact. So Saturday is usually my cheat day.
Yeah.
And I love pizza. I love pop chips, to be honest. They're a big favorite amongst me and my friends. Pop chips, which are amazing. I'm not really sweet tooth, so I'm very much more savory. So yeah, it'd have to be like the pop chips or Pringles, pizza, something like that. That is a definite good cheat day for me. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and thank you for sharing that and being super open, because it's good for a normal person to know that we're allowed that little cheat day and then just kind of get back onto it, really. And
oh my goodness, absolutely. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Everyone has to have a cheat day, because as I said, we're talking about setting your metabolism on fire. And if you deny yourself these things, funnily enough, if you're making good choices 80% of the time, your body can absorb a cheat day. So the other 20%, you can have these little treats, and your metabolism, it literally laps it up. It actually, it fires it up more. So it's best to actually have a day when you can indulge in these things and enjoy them. And you'll be amazed that as the weeks go on, you actually want less of those things.
Yes.
Where you enjoy them, but you're not gorging on them. You're just having some of them, and then you're fine. Oh, I'm done now, and I can get through the, I'm not craving them. It gets rid of the cravings. So which is why you should always allow yourself a little bit of indulgence once or twice a week.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I'm a big fan of The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Me too. Yeah.
You. There we go.
Oh, I love The Rock. Absolutely. Yeah.
And
who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't love The Rock?
Now, I will meet The Rock, and I see what he has in his cheat days. The man loves pancakes.
Oh my God, yeah.
But no.
Yeah, literally, I know. I've seen that too. Donuts and tequila, and yeah, he really goes for it, doesn't he?
He does, yes. And
he's a lot bigger than me, though. He's a lot bigger than me, Sharina, to be fair. He's a big guy. He can, just a touch. He needs it. He needs all that.
The feel. No, I do love The Rock. We will meet him one day, Michelle. We will.
We will. I hope so. I hope so.
The Rock, if you're listening, Michelle and I would love to meet you.
Yeah. Get in touch.
But look, let's end, Michelle. And I think you said that you wanted to make me do something for the second time today. Please say it's not 20,000 tricep dips. How shall we do this? What would you like to do?
No, it's not 20,000. I thought maybe 10, just to show that we can do it. Absolutely, just to round off the session. Okay. And this is off the bat. You've already done an hour's worth of training already, so this is doubly more impressive.
And I've also got a rolly chair. So
right, should we do it?
This is going to be interesting. You're testing my balance again today.
This is great. This is a real test of your strength and your actual core stability if you have a movable chair.
I'm actually in my scrubs.
Yeah, sure. Right.
I hope you can all see.
Perfect.
You're going to do this too, right?
Yeah, no, is that yeah, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to get my legs up, see? How's that?
Oh, she's...
There we go. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm going.
My legs are...
I can see. Very good. Nice and deep. Oh, nice and deep. Good.
The chair's moving.
Don't fall.
All good.
Very good. Yeah. I'll take that. I'm impressed. Well done. Well done, Sharina.
Oh,
very good. I'll take that. Yeah, before you lose your chair. Yeah.
Chair was
great.
Coming out the room. Nice. I'm feeling good.
Really good.
This little baby's going to come up.
Yeah. It is. No, absolutely. It's looking great already. Fantastic.
Wonderful, Michelle. So how many sessions left to go today? It's 12:30.
I've got a couple more sessions this afternoon. Yes. So it's been a busy day all in all, but that's good. It's good to be busy. I'm pleased I'm busy.
Absolutely. Well, to end on a note where you said that this is almost like a hobby for you, and that's the same from Confucius, when you do what you love, you're never at work for a day in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, look, Michelle, look forward to our session again next week. 2 sessions next week. And then
absolutely
fueling in with my intermittent fasting, and then a couple of apps here and there, and then we're heading into February. Bang.
Exactly. It's great. You made a great start. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the whole CHEK approach, if you like, or the anytime approach now works for you. I'm looking to see how you get on. It's going to be great.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you again really soon, okay?
Definitely. Thank you, Sharina. Thank you for having me.